Alright, YouTube and Fallout community. So, about a month ago we did a video where I went over some things that I believe Fallout 4 added to the series that were good. So, we're finally getting around to doing it. In this video, we're going to talk about the things that I believe Fallout 4 added to the series that were bad. So, let's get right into it. First up, let's talk about the voice protagonist and kind of the dialogue system. Now, the voice protagonist was a welcome addition to the series, to try it out at least. I like Courtney Taylor, I like Brian Delaney, they're both great voice actors. The thing here is, by having a voice protagonist, it's so different from the other Fallout games where they've always been silent, and you kind of had to read the text on screen to see what you're going to say. And by doing that, it kind of immerses you more into the game. If there's more immersion, it feels like you're actually there, because if you're reading it in your head, so you're hearing it in your voice. Whereas having somebody else read it to you kind of takes you out of the experience. And not to mention the amount of effort that went into these voice protagonists, because over the course of 2 years, Brian Delaney and Courtney Taylor both had to record over 13,000 lines of dialogue apiece. Now, that's a lot of effort. I'm glad they were willing to put in that effort. But think of all that time and effort that went into this. They could have been put towards just the game in general to make the game all around better, adding in more locations, weapons, armors, all those things. As for the dialogue choices, like Fallout's always kind of been linear with it. You've always had, typically a good answer, a kind of middle ground answer, and a bad guy answer where you're kind of an asshole. They still have that in this game, but the problem with it now is that you're limited to only 4 choices at all times, whereas before you might only have 3 or 4 choices normally, but then you'll have other things that pop up because of your level of skills or maybe one of your special stats being high enough. You have this new dialogue option that will get you access to this location or this information that you would not have otherwise. And that lets us segue into our next topic. And that is actually the lack of a skill system and the new perk system. Now, if you've been playing Fallout, before 4, you know that every time you level up, you got a certain amount of points, and you put those into different skills, and those skills are what you need to get certain perks. Certain perks require a certain amount of points into a certain skill, a certain amount of points into a certain special stat, or a combination of both, or multiple skills, multiple perks, special stats. So, we don't have that now. There is no skill system at all. The perk system is limited down to 11 per category, including the special stat itself. And the only requirement for each perk is to have enough points in that special stat to unlock it, and then from then on it's just a level requirement. You might need to be level 10 for this, then level 15 for rank 2, level 20 for rank 3, something like that. And that kind of gets rid of the RPG aspect of Fallout. That was kind of where our RPG thing went. Whenever you leveled up, you would increase your stats how you wanted to, and get the perks you wanted to, as long as you met the requirements for it, and we don't have that now. You go to the older Fallouts, certain perks would need, sometimes you need a certain amount of points into each special, like 2 different special stats, and also sometimes you need, a certain amount of points into 2 different skills. So, like, you might need 45 in guns and 45 in energy weapons to get this specific perk. And they don't have that now because you can't have crossing perks now because they're all categorized to the special chart. And in the special columns, everything you have to have, you can only get these ones in strength, only these ones in perception. So, to me, that just kind of got rid of the RPG element of Fallout. Next up, I want to talk about the legendary enemies and the items that they drop. Now, this, at first, whenever I first started playing Fallout 4, was one of the coolest things they had added. Now you have these, like, cool variants of enemies that always drop a special item. But as time goes on, you start to realize that the items that they are dropping they're good, but the problem here is it gets rid of the usefulness of any unique weapons or armors that you find out in the wasteland, by means of questing and things like that, or exploring locations. Because the effects that you can find on these legendary enemies are the same thing on these unique weapons. These unique weapons don't have a unique effect at all. As an example, let's look at the Righteous Authority. This is a laser rifle you get in the story from Paladin Dance of, doing a certain quest. Take a second to look at the stats if you want to, because we're going to reference those in a second. But the effect that it comes with is called Lucky, and your critical shots do double damage, and the critical meter fills 15% faster. Now, see, the thing is, that's a great ability, don't get me wrong, and it is a unique weapon. It has the star next to it and everything. The thing is, you can find this ability on any weapon in the wasteland. Theoretically, I could go out into the wasteland, explore enough, kill enough legendary enemies, and I'm bound to find a laser rifle or laser pistol, whatever the case, and it'll have this effect, and I can just mod it up to be an actual laser rifle, just like the Righteous Authority. Now let's check out the base laser gun in Fallout 4. If you look at the overall stats, a lot of them are admittedly less than the Righteous Authority. The damage is slightly less, the fire rate's the exact same, the range is less, but that's also because it is a pistol versus a laser rifle, so the range is going to be a lot less. Same thing with the accuracy. Usually the rifles have better accuracy. The weight's less, but it's also a pistol. Value's irrelevant. But if you actually look, the magazine's actually bigger on the laser gun than it is the Righteous Authority. The thing is, though, the laser gun is the base weapon where it's a pistol. So I think, honestly, if I were to find a laser gun in the Wasteland with the lucky effect, and I were to mod it up to where it is a laser rifle, I'm pretty sure the stats would be better than the Righteous Authority's base stats, which is why, to me, the new unique weapon system is kind of bad, because it kind of gets rid of because I think we all like to collect those weapons back in the, Fallout 3 New Vegas, and that's kind of not important now, because I think there's only like 1 or 2, maybe 3 things in the game that have abilities that are specific to just them, and nothing else can have those effects. Really quickly, we're going to look at some New Vegas examples of a unique weapon versus its original counterpart. First, we're going to do the Marksman Carbine, which is a semi-automatic medium-power rifle with a 20-round magazine mounted with an enhanced zoom scope, and the rest doesn't really matter. Now let's compare it to the All-American variant. The All-American is the unique variant of the semi-automatic Marksman Carbine with woodland camouflage, a magazine capacity of 24, and a higher magnification scope. It also bears the distinctive 82nd All-American Airborne Division insignia. Now, if we do compare the stats, the All-American is stronger. It has, it has a bigger magazine. It has a better zoom scope on it. It's even cosmetically different from the original. It has the camouflage and the insignia on it. Hell, the critical damage is even a little bit more, and the AP cost is 1 point lower. Though I didn't have the AP cost of the Marksman Carbine in that picture, the All-American is 1 point lower. The point of using this example is to show you that the unique variant of this weapon is better in like literally every fucking stat. And the only thing that's not different between the two is the durability. Whereas usually with unique weapons, they tear down a little bit slower than their original counterparts, which lets us segue into the next topic. And that is actually the lack of a repair system in this game, which was super surprising to a lot of us, I believe. Like, leading up to the game, we didn't know if this was going to be in there or not because they never mentioned it. And then once the game came out, we realized there was not a repair system. And then once they announced the survival mode where, you're really surviving, you gotta eat food and drink water and all those things and sleep, we were wondering if that was going to be something they added in. Now, maybe they'll finally put a repair system in because everybody was missing that, and they still did not add it. And this was something that really adds to that, post-apocalyptic survival aspect of Fallout that a lot of other games don't offer, is having to actually fix up your armors and your weapons, because obviously if you're taking shots or getting damaged or using up a weapon, you really have to clean and take care of a gun, or it's going to eventually jam on you, break, it's going to be a fuck up, whatever the case. And that was something that was really cool that they had in Fallout. Because now we have these invincible weapons, these invincible armors that can take all the damage in the world. You don't ever have to worry about repairing them. And to me, this is also another thing that's kind of bad about this, is it kind of breaks the economy. Now, before you, say you had a hunting rifle, and for some reason you're not finding a whole lot of hunting rifles in your game, you're going to keep every one you get because you need to repair your hunting rifle eventually. Of course, you can pay a vendor to repair it, but whatever the case, a lot of us use the weapons that we find. And now you don't have to do that. Now I have a badass laser rifle, and I'm finding other laser rifles in the Wasteland and Fallout 4. Now I can sell all of them. I don't need them. Why would I ever need them? I don't need to repair my laser rifle ever. I can just sell all of these. And it doesn't necessarily break the economy, but in a way it can, because now you can earn more caps than you could in previous games. And just a really quick small one that I don't like is the new weight system, because now you have to find a bed or a chair or something to sit on in order to even wait at all, whereas before you could just wait wherever you're at as long as there's no enemies nearby. Because I can understand it, because this is actually kind of a good thing in a way, because it makes use of the ability to sit, where before in 3 New Vegas, there's no reason to ever sit. It's one of those things you're trying to loot a table and you'll actually accidentally sit down and you'll just be pissed off because you have to go through the slow ass animation of your character sitting, then to stand back up. So it gives some usefulness to sitting, which I guess is a good thing, but in the end I would like to be able to just wait whenever or wherever I want. Some really quick honorable mentions would be the karma system. I know that it wasn't the most useful thing in the previous games, but they could revamp it in the future to make it where it is something useful. For instance, maybe if your character is really evil, you get better prices because people are scared of you. But say your character is a really good character, you get higher prices from vendors because you're kind of a pushover, because you're kind of too good of a guy. Something like that. That's just something off the top of my head. Also, we could do settlements. I in my previous video, I said that it's a good addition to the series. I actually don't even really play them, but I still know that it is a good thing for the series. But I also know that a lot of people dislike settlements. So for them, I'm going to throw the settlements on here just as kind of a honorable mention. And last up in this video, the absolute worst thing that they've ever added to the Fallout series in Fallout 4 was Preston Garvey. What an actual piece of shit. Probably one of the most annoying characters I've ever met in a video game, definitely in the Fallout series, and he's pretty much been a meme since day one. And that's it for the video, guys, of what I consider to be the bad additions to the series from Fallout 4. Hopefully some of these, if not all of them, are changed in the next Fallout game. If you want to like the video, thumbs it up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, or if you want to see more Fallout content. Follow me on Twitter. Links in the description. Later, guys.